हेलो एवरीवन, हम लोग यहाँ पर डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं हमारा नेक्स्ट मेथड टू डिटरमाइन द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ परमेबिलिटी इन द लैब, दैट इज horizontal coefficient horizontal capillary permeability test. So I can write here horizontal capillary capillarity permeability test. Okay, so before starting this test I want to discuss some important points in this test. Okay, so see, side by side I will make the experimental setup also. Very important thing is this test is performed for partially saturated soil. See, constant head permeability test we have discussed, falling head permeability test we have discussed. In both the cases we have fully saturated soils, but this horizontal capillary permeability test is used to determine the coefficient of permeability for partially saturated soils. Clear? So how to determine using this test, that we can discuss here. In this test we have one glass tube of 4 centimeter diameter and 35 centimeter in length. So suppose this is the glass tube, cylindrical glass tube we have. At the one end we have inlet. Inlet means this type of arrangement of supply of water we can have. Okay, we are supplying some amount of water. Let me tell you, the head is suppose, initial head is suppose H0. This is the axis of your soil sample, and the other end of this tube is open to atmosphere, something like this. This is open to atmosphere. The length of this tube is 35 centimeter and the diameter of this tube is 4 centimeter. Very small tube, this much length and this much thick tube we have in the lab. This tube is filled with partially saturated soil. Since there is a partially saturated soil, means some voids are filled with water, some voids are filled with air. So when we we supply some amount of water through this tube, through this stent pipe, through this tube, in this horizontal tube, the air start removing. So this end of this tube we kept open to atmosphere, open to atmosphere to escape the air. Since there is a partially saturated soil, so some voids may be filled with air, so we want to remove the air, so there should be space to remove the air. So this last end of this tube is open to atmosphere so that easily air can be escaped out. Now this complete tube is filled with partially saturated soil. So first I want to write the theory about this. So the point number 1, I want to write this test is used to determine coefficient of permeability of partially saturated soil. Partially saturated soil. This is the one important point we have. Now the second point, a cylindrical glass tube, of 4 centimeter diameter and 35 centimeter length is used in this test. This is my second important point. The third important point is constant head is maintained. Constant head is maintained at the inlet, and the other end of this tube is open to atmosphere to escape the air, because we are using partially saturated soil. Okay, so air can be removed. This is the small theory portion that we have discussed in this lecture. Now how to perform this test, that we can discuss now. What we are doing, under the constant head, there again I will tell, there is a continuous supply. We have to keep this head constant throughout our test. So what will happen, this tube is filled with soil sample. I am telling in any time t, we have covered, or water has covered the distance x. Water has covered the distance x. Okay. So this distance x has been covered in the given time t. This is your x distance and covered in the time t. Sir, how I will determine this much distance has been covered? So see, first what we have done, we have one tube of 35 centimeter length, and we have filled our partially saturated soil sample, for which the coefficient of permeability we have to determine in this tube. After filling the tube with the soil sample, we are giving the continuous supply to keep this head constant. So when we give the continuous supply, the water starts flowing from high head to low head, means the water will start flowing, something like this. So let me tell you, this is the point, suppose A, and this is the point, suppose B. So when water covers the distance from A to B, it covers distance x in the time t. We note the time, how much time has been taken by water to cover the distance from here to here. That I have measured. Clear? Now, when water will reach at the point B, you people will observe this much portion of soil is having the very dark color, because water is flowing from here to here. How I will determine, sir, the water has reached to this portion. I have marked, suppose this much is 30 centimeter, this is total 35 centimeter, this distance suppose 30 centimeter. How I'll determine, sir, the water has covered 30 centimeter length? Or easily we can identify, this is transparent glass tube, right? So when water will start flowing, suppose up to here, so this much soil will be fully saturated, and fully saturated soil will be having some dark color. So there will be a differentiation, there will be a separation of fully saturated soil and partially saturated soil. So easily we can determine, because the glass tube is transparent. Clear? So suppose in the given time t, we have covered the x distance from A to B. Now at the B, suppose we have inserted one piezometer to measure the head. So this head we have measured something like this. This is our head, and this head is your HC. When you insert your piezometer in partially saturated soil, there is a drop of your water head. Water is not rising, water is dropping. So it is suddenly dropped in the piezometer, and up to this level it is dropped. So from this line, this axis, we can measure the head, that is HC. Of course it is dropping, so this value will be negative. So now I want to write the available head at point A and B. So see here, head at A. What is the head at A? If I insert the piezometer here, there is a constant head of H naught. Clear? So here we have head at the point A equal to H naught. Now if I insert one piezometer at the point B, we have the head HC, which is negative because it is dropped due to capillary effect. We'll discuss capillarity in detail. Okay, so head at B minus of HC, because the soil is partially saturated. Now can I determine the head difference? Head difference, or I can say head loss. It will be equal to head at A minus head at B. That means I can write the total head difference delta H will be equal to H naught minus of HC. So total head loss we have H naught plus HC. This is the total head difference we have between point A and point B. You can observe here. From this water level to this water level, what is the total distance? From this center axis we have H naught, and from this to here we have HC. So H naught plus HC, total we have H naught plus HC head difference. Clear? So in this fashion we have determined the head difference. Can I determine the hydraulic gradient? Of course I can determine the hydraulic gradient. So you see, I am writing about hydraulic gradient. Hydraulic gradient I will be equal to head loss divided by length of flow path. Head loss divided by length of flow path. Now you should know what is head loss. Delta H. Delta H is H naught plus HC. So I can write H naught plus HC divided by L. L is not the length of soil sample, man. It is the length of flow path. Length of flow path means how much distance water has covered in your soil sample. That is length of flow path. So how much distance water has covered? So water has covered the distance from A to B, that is X. So here your length of flow path is X. So I have written here it is x. Clear? So we in this fashion we have determined the value of hydraulic gradient also. Can we determine seepage velocity? Yes, why not? So I am interested in determining the seepage velocity. Seepage velocity. What is seepage velocity? Seepage velocity Vs is equal to how much distance has been covered by water in how much time. That is the seepage velocity. So you people should notice the distance covered by water is from A to B, that is x, in the given time t. So for any instant of time, can I write the seepage velocity is dx by dt? Yes, I can write. So let me write the seepage velocity is dx by dt. X distance has been covered in the given time t is the seepage velocity. You people know, when I started this chapter, we have discussed about the seepage velocity as in the terms of discharge velocity, Vs equal to V divided by porosity into degree of saturation. If you remember, I taught this expression, we have derived. So this is the expression number 1 I can say, this is the expression number 2 I can say. Both are same. I can put these two values equal. So see what happens. So dx by dt I can put equal to V divided by eta is the porosity and S is the degree of saturation, like this. Dx divided by dt is equal to, what is V? V is a discharge velocity. In the Darcy's law has been given for discharge velocity only. So your discharge velocity V will be equal to K into I. When we were talking about Darcy's law, I have considered a fully saturated soil. So for fully saturated soil, the coefficient of permeability is denoted by K. But here we have partially saturated soil. So the coefficient of permeability we can denote by Ku. Ku. There is no much difference between K and Ku. K is the coefficient, see, K is the coefficient of permeability for what? For fully saturated soil, and Ku is the permeability for partially saturated soil. Can you tell me which expression is correct? K is greater than Ku? Is this correct? Or Ku is greater than K? Is this correct? What do you think? Of course, K is greater than Ku is correct. Because if you remember, I taught you when we were discussing about factors affecting the coefficient of permeability. In that lecture we discussed coefficient of permeability depends upon the degree of saturation also. Higher the degree of saturation, higher the coefficient of permeability. So when your soil is fully saturated, that time the coefficient of permeability of the soil will be very, very high. But when the soil is partially saturated, the coefficient of permeability can be less. So this is the basic general discussion I have done. Now we are interested actually here to write V equal to K into I, but in the place of K I am writing Ku. Ku is the coefficient of permeability of partially saturated soil. Clear? Now eta into porosity I can write here, porosity into degree of saturation I can write here. Here you see I can write dx equal to Ku, dx by dt equal to Ku divided by eta into S into I. What is I? I is the hydraulic gradient, and we have already determined the value of hydraulic gradient H naught plus HC by X. So here H naught plus HC by X. Okay. So see how I am arranging the given values. I can write x dx x dx, okay, equal to Ku divided by eta into S H naught plus Hc into dt. Can I write like this? Yes, I can write. So here we can integrate, here also we can integrate. Two observations we have to take, two readings we have to take actually. Which type of readings, sir? You see here, what I will do, I will mark some locations in this tube. Suppose I have marked this location, I have marked this location also. Now what will you do, sir? So when water will cover a distance from here to here, I will say the water has covered, I will say water has covered distance x1 in the time t1, like that I will tell. Means I have marked this location, suppose x1 is 5 centimeter, yaar. Now I will see, I will watch my, I will notice and I will note the time, in how much time the water has covered x1 distance, clear? So t1 I have noted or observed. Then one more observation we have to take at any another location. Suppose x2, x1 may be taken as 5 centimeter, x2 can be taken as 10 centimeter, no problem. Again I will see in how much time from origin A water has taken, the time that water has taken to reach from here to here or to cover x2 distance, I can write the time t2. So in the time t2 water has covered x2 distance, and in the time t1 water has covered x1 distance. So these four values we have. So I want to integrate with these four values. So the x1 distance has been covered in t1 time and x2 distance has been covered in t2 times. Clear? So here let me integrate this system. So x square by 2, here you will be writing x1 to x2, then Ku divided by eta into S H naught plus Hc, and we can write integration of dt will be your t1 to t2. So can I write this expression like this, x2 square minus x1 square, x2 square minus x1 square divided by t2 minus t1, x2 square minus x1 square divided by t2 minus t1 will be equal to 2 Ku divided by eta into S into H naught plus Hc. Can I write like this? This t2 minus t1 I can send here right? I can send this T2 minus T1 here. This is x2 square minus x1 square, and this 2 I can write here. So this is the final expression that we have derived in this test. You do not need to worry about the derivations and all. If you people are preparing for ESE, engineering services, then the derivations are important for you guys. Otherwise, if you are preparing for GATE, then the final expression is helpful for you. Now the question comes, how to use this value, how to use this equation actually. What is my target? What is my objective? I want to calculate the value of K, that is the coefficient of permeability of partially saturated soil. This K I want to find. Now, how many data are with me? X1, X2 I know, T1, T2 I know because I am doing the test. So, these results I will be getting. X1 and X2 I will decide 5 centimeter, 10 centimeter, something like this. T1 and T2 I will observe in this test. In how much time X1 distance has been covered, in how much time X2 distance has been covered by water, that is T1 and T2. So, these 4 items are with me. The soil sample I have collected, it's my soil sample. So, what is the porosity in that sample, what is the degree of saturation, that I know how to calculate. So, these 2 values are also with me. H0 is the initial head. You are giving the inlet, in the inlet you are supplying the water. So the value of initial head may be 100 centimeter or 50 centimeter or something that you know already, H0. So this results is also with you. This value H0 is also with you, it is the initial head in the given figure. HC, it is the capillary height that we do not have. In the experiment here, this tube we insert, this is the piezometer we insert and we get this HC. But how I will insert this tube, this piezometer, how I will insert? This is already one glass tube. This is horizontal glass tube. I cannot make one hole and insert this piezometer. Getting my point? So this is a process. We know there will be some capillary fall, HC. But we are not inserting this. So I am actually not measuring this HC in this test. So that means I do not have the value of HC also. Then what we have? We have only H dot, we do not have HC, because I am not going to insert any tube, I am not going to insert any piezometer in this main tube. Just to show, I have drawn something here in the picture. Means in that equation, I have only single equation that we have derived here, this one. So in this equation, we have 2 unknowns. First unknown is your Ku that we want to determine, and the second unknown is this one, height of capillary rise. These 2 values we don't have. Then we have single equation and 2 unknowns. The equation cannot be solved, the values cannot be determined. But we are performing the test. So test can be performed number of times. So number of equations can be generated to obtain this Ku and this HC. So there are 2 unknowns in this equation. So minimum 2 equations are required. That means minimum 2 times you have to perform this test. If you perform 2 times this test for the same soil, 2 equations you can generate. 2 times, how will you perform the test? So on changing the initial head, you can perform the number of times this test. Suppose initial head you can take 100 centimeter for first test. In the second test you can take 200 centimeter. Next test 300 centimeter. Something like this. So on changing the head, we can have number of expressions. Minimum 2 times we have to perform this test. So you see, we have two unknowns, H0 and Hc. So I want to write in the above expression, there are two unknowns, Ku and Hc. Therefore, number of observations are required. Number of observations are required. Clear? So, number of observations are required in this test. So, let's have a discussion for the first observation. First observation means, suppose we start the test, the expression is with me, we start the test with any value of H0. Observation number 1, suppose we start the test with any value of H0, maybe H0 in the first observation we can take 100 centimeter. This I am telling random values, okay, random values I am telling. So let me tell you, this is H0 1. Already I have marked x1 distance and x2 distance on this glass tube, cylindrical glass tube. I will see the time, in how much time water is covering the distance x1, that will be your time t1, and in how much time water is covering the distance x2, that is your t2 time, that I will measure or I will observe. So what will happen? I have the results, I will keep in this equation. So the equation I can write here, x2 square minus x1 square divided by t2 minus t1 equal to 2 Ku divided by partial saturation into porosity into degree of saturation into H0 1, okay, plus Hc. This is my equation number A. Now let's talk about the second observation. How will you apply the second observation? For second observation, we are either increasing or decreasing the head, means we are changing this initial head. You can perform, suppose, the second observation under the different constant head, maybe 150 centimeter for example, different constant head. These are the constant head, continuous supply is there. Same, I have already marked x1, I have already marked x2. I will note the time t1, I will note the time t2. Since this time the head is very high, 150 centimeter, which is higher than 100 centimeter. So in the second observation, when the head is supposed very high, time required will be less to cover this x1 and x2 distance. So suppose this time in second observation we are getting t1 dash and t2 dash to cover the x1 distance and x2 distance respectively. Clear? I can write in the main equation. So the results I am going to put in the main equation. x2 and x1 distances are same, already marked, but this time in the second observation, time required to cover this x1 and x2 distance will be different. I can write t2 dash minus t1 dash, because head you have changed, equal to 2 Ku divided by porosity into degree of saturation into this time H02 head, constant head I have changed, plus Hc. This is your expression number B. Ku, eta, S, Hc, Hc. This will not change because these are the materials property. This will remain same. This will not change. Now you have two expressions, two unknowns Ku and Hc, so it can be easily determined. So I can write using equations A and B, Ku and Hc can be determined, where Ku is the coefficient of permeability of partially saturated soil, and Hc is the capillary height. Now what is the meaning of this capillarity? Everything x, y, z, everything we will discuss in the coming times. So many things about the capillarity in this chapter only we can discuss. So wait for capillarity. Just you understand Hc is the capillary height. It is something that we will discuss in the coming time. Okay. So this is the end of your test number 3. It was the third test which is used to determine the coefficient of permeability in partially saturated soils. Okay. So if you remember, I started the determination of coefficient of permeability lecture, and I told you there are total 3 methods. First is indirect method, second is field method, and the third is lab method, means laboratory method. If I talk about indirect methods, so we have discussed about Allen-Hazen equation, Kozeny-Korman equation, then Lauden's equation, and we have discussed about consolidation equation and Terzaghi equation. All these methods we have discussed under the indirect methods. Now field method, pumping in and pumping out method. These two methods we will be discussing when I will be discussing about well hydraulics, that we will discuss these two methods, pumping in and pumping out method. Third method was laboratory method. In the laboratory method we are having 3 methods: constant head that we have discussed, permeability, falling head that we have discussed, and this one horizontal capillarity permeability test that also we have discussed in this lecture. So this is the end of your determination of coefficient of permeability. Clear? So I hope you are clear with this. So this test is sometimes in some exams for 1 mark or 2 mark, maybe SSC, JE or something, they people generally ask horizontal capillary permeability test can be used, or they can ask to determine the coefficient of permeability of partially saturated soil, which test is used. 4 options they can give. So your answer will be this one, horizontal capillary permeability test can be used to determine permeability of partially saturated soil. Clear? Okay. Thank you.